I'm Batman.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me! Who's got you?
Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
I'm a doctor. But probably not the one you expect.
I'm Captain Kirk.
Welcome everyone to a special Geek This Week presentation, and this is the Buck Rogers in the 25th Century Reunion panel with Gil Gerard, Erin Gray, and Felix Silla. Gerard, who played Buck Rogers, Erin Gray, who played Colonel Wilma Duran, and Felix Silla, who played the physical performance of Twinkie. This was a wonderful panel where Gil Gerard talks about the production of Buck Rogers, which lasted for 2 seasons on NBC, which started in, believe it or not, 1979. This September will make the 40th anniversary, so this is the 40th anniversary year of Buck Rogers. So, and Erin Gray and Felix Silla talk about their time and experience on the show. Just a few little quick notes. This panel was shot handheld cam, so there will be some slight shakiness and such. I was not allowed to use a tripod at Saenger Theater. That was Saenger Theater management that refused to let me use the tripod, not the Pensacon staff. So I apologize for the shakiness. Hopefully it doesn't take away from what a great panel this was. So anyway, sit back and enjoy the special presentation of the Buck Rogers in 25th Century Reunion panel from the Saenger Theater in Pensacola, Pensacon 2019.
I'm just getting so much triggered. Alright, I said, how we doing? Alright, welcome to the stage. We are pleased to present this.
How we doing?
In 1979, Glenn Morrison, Battlestar Galactica, and Leslie Stevens of the Armaments decided to acquire the rights of Buck Rogers and decided to revamp it for the 70s and gave us 2 seasons of fantastic costumes, amazing adventures, and even better memories. So please, welcome to the stage. First, he is a trained circus performer and stuntman, and his credits include Battlestar Galactica, Return of the Jedi, and Cousin It from the Addams Family. Please welcome Mr. Felix Silla. Next, she is a model, an actress, a practitioner, and then proponent of Tai Chi, and an author of Act Right, considered a model for aspiring actors. Please welcome Ms. Erin Gray, or as we know her, Colonel Wilma Duran. And finally, spokesman, actor, star of Sidekicks, Earth Force, host of Code 3, but today we will talk about his career as Captain William Buck Rogers of the failed flight of Ranger 3. Give it up for Gil Gerard! Electricity is the Trevor here?
Oh, hi. Hi, Ben. We both were. Hi!
Thank you all so much for coming out here and joining us today. It's absolute privilege to have you all here. What I would love to do is I'd like to hear about how you each individually got involved with the Buck Rogers franchise. Ladies first.
I was under contract at Universal Studios at the time. I was working on a 4-hour miniseries called Evening in Byzantium with Glenn Ford, Shirley Jones, Patrick Nee. And on the very last day of shooting, I called a night to night, from 6 at night to 6 in the morning. The studio called me at night. They said, we need you to come in tomorrow morning and test for this project called Buck Rogers. And I said, I've been working for 6 weeks straight. I'm working all night. And I want to go home, and I haven't read the script, and I don't know anything about this Buck Rogers. And I said, I don't want to go. And they said, no, you have to be there. I said, really? I mean, I'll be dead tired. I've been working all day, and they insisted. So I came in, and I didn't want to be there. And I had a certain amount of attitude. But Gil made it fun, constantly joking, constantly laughing, whatever. And somehow I got the job. Hadn't read the script, didn't know anything.
I forget about the day and age we're in now.
Anyway, so that's how I got Buck Rogers.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I had an interview with a Universal Studio, and I was competing with somebody with their glasses blind, you couldn't see from here to there. Also, they were thinking about putting the monkey inside the suit as Twinkie.
But I refuse.
Thank you. You refused. You didn't want to be in the suit.
Hello? Joe? Anyway.
That's it. That's okay. I got the job.
That was it?
Yeah, that's it. And I got the
You
job.
beat out a monkey for him?
Right. I mean, I moved.
Thank God.
I give him a banana so he could go home and I get the job.
Oh, you want me to say something? Well, I had just done a pilot for a series for Michael Landon, and that was a show I really wanted to do. And so my agent called me and he said, they want you to do Buck Rogers. And I said, I'm not interested. I don't want to do a comic book cartoon character thing. I've got this thing with Michael Landon, which is a much better project and one I'm more interested in doing. I love working with Mike, so he said, okay. So they called again about a week later. They called and said, they still want you to do Buck Rogers. I said, I'm still not interested. I wouldn't even read the script. I was not. It's like, I just don't want to do, you know, a cartoon character. So he said, okay. So call me again. He said, about a week later, they'd really like you to do Buck Rogers. I said, I really don't want to do it. You know, I saw what happened to Adam West's career because of Batman. God rest his soul. You know, it destroyed his career. He couldn't get hired for over 20 years because of Bop, Bip, Bam and all that kind of stuff. And it was a shame because Adam had a great sense of humor and he was really, really good at humor. But he couldn't even, they wouldn't even hire him for a game show to be a contestant or on the panel. His agent was telling me about this. He said the only way he was able to support his family was to do dinner theater all over the country, and that was it. That's the only thing he could do. And I said, I don't want that career. So no thank you, I'm not doing Bop, Bip, Bam, Buck Rogers. So apparently my agent told me this later. He said they called him and said, look, would you read the script? And if you think it's something Gil would like to do, would you ask him to read it? So he said, okay. So he read the script and he called me up and he said, it's not what you think it is. You should at least give it a read. And then tell me what you want to do. So I read the script and I liked it. I liked the sense of humor. It wasn't Bop, Biff, Bam. It was kind of a fun character. And so I said, yeah, but I still want to do this other project. Well, Universal came back and said that they would take second position to the Michael Landon project if I would do Buck Rogers. I thought, well, that's a win-win. I've already done the thing for Mike, so I can do this. And it was whispered in the wind that it was going to be a motion picture first. First it was whispered it was going to be a miniseries, and then it was going to be a motion picture, which it turned out to be. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And that's how I started in Buck Rogers. And then
I never knew about the movie part. I didn't find out much later.
Yeah, well, I'm ever since I've been in this business, I always picked the brains of the cinematographer. When I was doing commercials, I'd go, you know, what kind of lens are you using and why do you do that? you know, when they had a break, I didn't just bug them but when I was doing the commercial, I'd ask them about stuff. Lenses and focus points and, you know, lighting. I talked to Benny all the time. Remember that lighting guy?
Benny.
And Frank Biescache, who was the cinematographer.
Right.
And he's the one that said to me, he confirmed it. He said, you know, we're shooting this. God almighty. Touching. He said, we're shooting this at 185,
Right.
which is motion picture framing, as opposed to TV, which is 160 or something like that. And he said, so we have to, everything has to be lighted for 185, and that's motion picture. He said, this is going to be a motion picture. I said, oh. And sure enough it was, and it was one of the top 5 grossing motion pictures of 1979. It was picked by Look magazine as one of the 5 best pictures of the year. We were number 3. Number 1 was China Syndrome, number 2 was The Champ, and number 3 was Buck Rogers. And I forget what the other 2 were. Opening weekend gross, and remember this is $1979, and theaters were charging, what, $2, $3 to get in, right? $12 million the opening weekend. If you put that into today's dollars, what is it? How much is it to get in? I have a free pass, unfortunately. So I don't know. 10 here, okay, that's 10. So let's say 2, so 5 times 12 is a $60 million opening weekend. Interesting thing is that when the show ended, I went to the Dilley family who owned the rights. The idea being to do a sequel, motion picture, because it was so successful. It was one of the 5 top grossing pictures in 1979. And they weren't interested. They wanted to do marketing first, and then maybe do a motion picture. I said, that's not really the way it works. You do a motion picture, and then you market toys or whatever you want to market from the motion picture. You're doing it totally backwards, but they weren't interested. They were not budged. So that was the first of many experiences I had with the Dilley family who owned the rights to Buck Rogers. As a matter of fact, they're being sued by the Nolan family. I don't know if you know Philip Nolan. Well, he didn't create it, but he was hired by the original Dilley. I've forgotten his name, but Grandpa Dilley, to do Buck Rogers. By the way, the name Buck comes from Mr. Dilley's dog. That was his dog's name, so the character became Buck Rogers. William Buck Rogers. Quit that. So anyway, the Nolan family, Philip Nolan, was hired by Mr. Dilley to create the Buck Rogers cartoon. It was a comic strip at the time. And so he has obviously the rights to some of the rights. He was bought out by Mr. Dilley, and so the Nolan family is suing the Dilley family because they're saying that they have basically made their share of the Buck Rogers property worthless by not doing anything with it. And I must say I totally agree with them, because they have done nothing but obstruct any kind of idea about Buck Rogers. They just are not interested. I offered to write 3 books. I had 3 stories I wanted to write. They weren't interested. I said, I'll do it with a ghostwriter, whatever makes you comfortable. They weren't interested. It's like nothing to do with Buck Rogers ever gets done. It just blows my mind. The action, the toys and the action figures, when they came out, they were out. They did 1 run. They sold out within a week. And toy people, toy stores could not get any more. They were not shipping anymore. It's like, okay, I thought you guys were in the business of making money. Obviously I was wrong. But it was amazing. It's like everything you could do wrong with a project was done wrong with Buck Rogers and continues to be done. Well, I'm talking about it as a production candidate. But it blows me away. And I understand that Disney now owns the rights to Buck Rogers. And they're doing exactly what a lot of production companies do in LA, in this business. They bought the rights and they put it on a shelf. It will never be produced because they have, what is it? They have, well, Star Wars, they have Marvel, don't have Marvel, and they don't have DC too, do they? No. Okay, not yet. That's probably very true. But the thing is, what they do is they buy up projects and they shelve them. That way they don't have to worry about them competing with the projects that they have a lot of money invested in. So you will never, probably as long as Disney, now hopefully they'll make a liar out of me, but as far as I know, with the history of this business and the way they buy it and the reasons they buy up projects, is that they will never produce Buck Rogers. It'll sit on a shelf and they'll continue to milk the Marvel franchise and whatever, and Star Wars or whatever, for as much money as they can because they've got an enormous amount of money into it, and Buck will never be seen. That's just the unfortunate thing. But that's, you know, it's like, I got a buddy who does action figures, and we talked about it. He actually had the license to do some Buck Rogers stuff, and he said, I'm tearing my hair out. He said, I can't deal with these people. I said, well, welcome to the club, man. I've been dealing with these, people for about 20 years. And I said, I can't get them to do anything. So that's sort of the story. That's really probably more information than you wanted. But yeah, it's a shame because I really had I guess as an actor, as someone who's a part of something like Buck Rogers, I always felt like it never realized its potential. I mean, to have the opportunity to do a character who's 500 years in the future, to me it was really exciting. Because there's so many things you could try to do. You could do stuff, you know, well, for instance, like the women in Buck Rogers. I don't know how many of you noticed that in the show there are women pilots, women guards, women mechanics, all that kind of stuff. That didn't happen by accident. It happened because one day we were on the set, and it was a scene that Erin and I were going to be in. She was in uniform, and it was a ball or something, or a reception or something. It was at the Bonaventure Hotel. At the bottom. And I noticed that there were no women in uniform except for Wilma Deering, her character. Only the men were in uniform. And I said, wait a minute, why are there no women in uniform? We're talking about the Earth after a terrible Holocaust of some kind. Don't we need everybody who's capable of doing a good job? Don't we need all those people, regardless of sex? I said, why are the only men in uniform? You've made her sort of a figurehead. She's not the best of a really good batch of women. She's the only one. I would say something, but for this generation, I can't say that. Anyway, she was. I mean, she represented the best. So I said, look, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to shoot anything until you guys go back to wardrobe and start putting some of these women in uniform. So we stopped. It's one of the things you can do when the name of the show is Buck Rogers and you play Buck Rogers. And they knew that I really didn't want to do it anyway, so they weren't going to screw with me. But, and then I said to him, I said, look, let's just carry this one step further. I said, from now on, I want to see women pilots, women mechanics. Okay, that's about enough I think. I'm going to go over here. Anyway, women in all kinds of fields of endeavor. And I said, I don't want anything said about it. I don't want anybody, Buck in particular, remarking about, oh, look at all these women doing this job. I said, I just want women to be doing it. I said, because there's going to be young women, young girls watching the show, which has turned out, I was hoping that that was what would happen. But I said, I want them to see that anything is possible. So, I wasn't the most popular guy at Universal for a while, but they did do what I said. So when you see the show, you'll see that Erin is the best of the best of women and men. That's why she was
Thank you all for your service to the Earth Directorate. Thank you. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a microphone over here. If y'all want to line up and take some questions, and while we're getting that straight, I would love to hear the three of you, if you could talk a little bit about the change between the two seasons, because there was an extended period because of the actor strike, and what was it like when they said, we're changing the show just a little bit?
Can I say something about that?
Please.
The difference between the first stages. Well, anyway. Now, I was so sci-fi stupid or ignorant. I guess ignorant's a better word because I just wasn't educated. You know you're not allowed to leave in the middle of this, right? Oh, you're coming down closer? Okay. I thought we were ripping off Star Trek, you know, with Searching for the Lost Tribes of Earth. And then someone said, many years later, they said, no, it wasn't Star Trek. It was what we call Wagon Train in Space, which was Battlestar Galactica. And I said, oh, I'll be damned, I didn't know that. But we changed producers, and there was a guy named John Manley, whose main claim to fame was presiding over the demise of Gunsmoke. You would think he saved Gunsmoke, but actually he was the last executive producer of Gunsmoke, which ended after 20-some years under his stewardship. So he was brought in to do Buck Rogers, and you know, I had a meeting with him and tried to, you know, he was getting rid of Dr. Hewer and revamping all this stuff and putting us on a ship called the Searcher.
Wanted to get rid of me too.
Well, that's another story. But that,
I said, have you?
At least I was successful, whatnot. Unfortunately, he didn't destroy your character, but he certainly didn't do it any favors. I don't know if you've ever seen, there's a picture of the three of us that I have, and you have also, which underlines what we used to call her outfit. It looked like Dairy Queen in space. So all she needed was roller skates and a tray, and we'd be in. And I swear to God, you had a little hat. Yeah, I swear, it was like Dairy Queen in space.
I remember that shot, yeah.
Yeah, so he really kind of, he messed up her character, made it, and it was just this nothing kind of a thing, and I'm like, this woman runs the director, for God's sakes. Anyway, but at least he kept her. He didn't keep Dr. Hewer. I couldn't win that battle. He put us on the Searcher, and I kept saying, well, why would Buck be going off into space again? He hasn't been here in 500 years. Well, you know, Jesus Christ, why is he going back where he was? He may have been asleep, but he was gone, and he needs to be back. Anyway, that's what caused the change, was him and his ideas. Now, I must say, there were some shows that we did, some scripts that were very good. The Satyr, I liked, and I think the reason subconsciously I liked it is because, well, first of all, I got to play a character, the Satyr, so I got to put on all this makeup and stuff and horns and crazy hair and all that. So it was fun for me as an actor. But it was also because of the sort of setting, the young woman and her kid sort of out in the frontier, that really reflected what I wanted to see Buck doing to begin with in the first season even. And that was staying on Earth and going out and having adventures on Earth with people who had survived through this terrible Holocaust and all the trials and tribulations of just surviving as humanity. So for that reason, it's one of my favorite shows, even though it is in the second season. What I objected most to was the milieu. The fact that we were on this ship, the fact that he had turned her into like, oh, Buck, help me, you know, it was like crazy. So a woman who shot me in the first season turns into somebody who can't do without me, and they open the door to the second season. And then we had Crichton, your favorite buddy, who screwed up more scenes, and well, yeah, they took that away. But then I told him to put Mel back or get another Buck Rogers. Again, see, when you're Buck Rogers and you're the guy playing it, they have to listen to you. So, and I hated that, because the thing I hated was that you had to pull this kind of stuff, kind of power things, when instead of just having an intelligent conversation about it, going, you know, this doesn't work. This guy's, his voice is weak. You're going from this beep kind of guy to, you know, whatever. I said it's too close, actually, to Theopolis. Yeah, well, Theopolis was a very soft voice. I said, you just made them both the same voice. So I said, put Mel back, otherwise. They just wouldn't listen. I said, put Mel back or get somebody else to play Buck Rogers. So then they put Mel back. Because of that, Mel gave me a call and asked me to come over. I went to his house. We became friends. He showed me his studio. He did all those voices and everything from his home. He had his own studio in his home. A little side story. When Mel passed away, his son was doing some of the voices. And I knew his son, and I saw him at a convention a few years later, and I said, I understand you're doing your dad's voices. He said, no, my dad's doing them. I thought, oh, God. And dipping into the sauce. And I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, my father, he said, everything he ever did is on computer. He's virtually said every word you can say as these characters. And he said, so what they do is they send the script and they just put his voice, all these words that he's spoken, all these sentences, they just put them in, and he's now doing Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd and all these characters. So that's Mel Blanc's voice again. Something interesting to know. Yeah. So, but that's what happened with the second season. I did go into this tower toward the end of the second season, and I had a meeting with the president of Universal and Don Sipes and Charlie Engle, who was the vice president of television for Universal. And I said, look, I just want to tell you guys the idea that I've been trying to get through, going through channels for the last 2 years. And I told them the story. I said, I want to see Buck stay on Earth. Initially, I wanted him to be offered a position with the director. This was right after the movie. And have him go, you know what, thank you very much, I'm honored, but I really need to sort of figure out where I'm at. You know, I haven't been here in 500 years. I'd like to put my hand on something that I recognize, besides a woman. Anyway. Of course, we know what happened with that. Buck thawed out, but obviously because he never got lucky, one part of him never thawed out. Anyway, maybe it broke off with him. I don't know. Anyway.
Works for us.
Anyway, I said I wanted to see Buck stay on Earth and have adventures on Earth. I said, 2 reasons I think it would be good for you guys is, number one, we don't have to do all these fight scenes, all the special effects and everything, which is very, very expensive, and which made Buck Rogers the most expensive show on television at that time. So we don't have to do that. You can just do stories, write really good stories. And I said, that's number 2, is the fact that television is a character-driven medium. You know, you people, fans of the show, invited us into your homes. You invited us to have dinner with your family. You had TV trays or whatever, you sat around, watched at 8 o'clock, you watched Buck Rogers. when it was on network television, and, you know, we became part of your family. You invited us into your living room. That's because you like the characters, not because you fell in love with the spaceships. I said, you know, you can get away with that kind of thing with Star Wars, because you're sitting in a theater, it's 2 hours and it's done. So yeah, you can have all that stuff going on, but you need to be more character-driven for television. And I said, if you start doing real stories of Buck dealing with people in the 25th century on Earth, now you're going to get into characters that people can relate to and care about. You can do Wilma stories that are human stories, not just Wilma, director, colonel. All those kinds of things you can get into. And they were like, wow, that's the best idea we've heard in 2 years. Why haven't we heard it before? I said, because no one would listen to me. So they knew that I was friends with the president of NBC, who was Brandon Tartikoff. God rest his soul, he's passed away. I seem to be the only one left alive. John Manley's passed away. There's no loss really, but anyway. Crichton died, but that's no loss either. So anyway, they asked me if I would talk to Brandon, and I said, okay. So I called Brandon up and I talked to him. And I said, why don't we have some lunch and I'll go over it. So we had lunch and I talked to him about it. And he said, that's a great idea. He said, if we renew for a 3rd season, that's the direction we will take. He said, it won't be every show, but it'll be the general direction of the show if we do a 3rd season. And what that became a moot point, because the what do you call them? The affiliate stations have a lot of power with the network. They're affiliated with the network. And then there's owner-operated, owned by the network and operated by them. Anyway, because it was so expensive and they were just like, no, and so the show was canceled. So, but we had a shot. I got close. Okay, does that satisfy everybody?
That's
Probably more information again than you wanted or needed.
I think that was pretty awesome. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Keith. I want to first say thank you, Gil, for your passion for the character. For a lot of characters that were birthed in the 30s and 40s, like The Flash, The Shadow, Doc Savage, Flash Gordon, all those characters now are owned by corporations that really don't understand the property and don't know how to market it, just as what you said. And I appreciate the fact that playing that character, you understood the power of it, you understood the privilege of having it, and I really appreciate how you have gone guns blazing, shall we say, full force in trying to, if people see you as this character, and I have a custodial part of it, well, let me do that to the best of my ability. And as a fan of all those pulp heroes from the 30s and 40s, I thank you. My question is, the show, as you said, was expensive, very technically challenging. So if you could all three just kind of discuss some of the technical challenges, something that come up, shooting certain scenes, like the cockpit scenes or certain things. And could you all three talk about maybe some of the guest stars, such as Frank Gorshin?
That's 2 questions.
I know.
Pick one.
Is this a quiz show? Go ahead and ask as many as you want. Sit there and be quiet. I'm at the end of the table for a reason.
That's it. Thank you.
I'm just doing my job. Wait, answer the question. Hold on, boss.
Wait.
Look at you.
Erin, why don't you take that?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, some of the technical problems we had with things are like, you'll notice that Dr. Theo disappeared shortly after the series started because our batteries kept dying. So we'd be in the middle of a scene and all of a sudden Dr. Theo would go, oh, get some batteries in there. We go, and it happened all the time, so we just got rid of Dr. Theo. I didn't deal too much with some of the special effects, so from my point of view, it would be things like going through the door that's supposed to open automatically and realizing that Tony, who was asleep behind the wall, had forgotten to open the door. So those are the things that we had to do.
I'm sorry, he was asleep. Can you answer that again? Go ahead.
We did the scene of myself and Crichton. We do the scene going down the hallway, and all of a sudden, I look over my left or whatever it was, and he's spinning around and banging against the wall. Boom. So the director said, "Cut, we have to fix the robot." So they leave me there for about 10-15 minutes while they were fixing a piece of crap, but whatever the hell it was. So they were fixing the robot, and I'm sitting there, just standing there at the wall, against the wall, and going, "Hey, I'm in here, I need to get out too, you know. You don't worry about me." Same thing was happening with the camera. Remember, the camera used to break down all the time. "Oh, we have to fix the camera, but nobody cares about me." You know, it's like, I was soon, you know, sweating, cussing out, you know, getting really mad, and, you know.
You were being Italian.
Yes. And you know
What?
all the words I said, oh, I'm glad I didn't pick it up in sound.
Well, they were all on break. You were just standing there alone, no one was around. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was in my motorhome. Erin was in the commissary.
And I was suffering in the wall while they fixed the robot.
And Crichton, who cared? But,
well, I know they cared.
Yeah.
And John Manley, they cared either.
Right. Well, that was the second season.
I'm talking about, yeah, there was a second season.
The first season was really
No,
interesting.
first season he wasn't there.
I know he wasn't. Trust me.
Second season.
You talking about Crichton was the second season, yeah.
Crichton was in second season, he put up. Okay. So that's the problem. Thank you,
What's your name?
George.
George. Hi, George. So are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
He was so jealous of Crichton, it wasn't even funny. He still is. Crichton was...
I love Crichton.
Oh, yeah. You love to see him burn in it. Oh. Yeah. I think you were the one that broke him up and turned him into a campfire.
That's right.
Yeah. Marshmallows and all thing. S'mores. Yeah. So anyway. I do, actually, yeah. Yeah. I'm old, I'm not fucking senile. So, yes, I'm 76. Thank you very much. Interesting idea occurred to me about a year ago, having to do with age. Anyway, I was 36 when I did Bug Riders, when they cast me. You've always been older than me. Fuck, you were older than me when I was born. Yeah. Anyway, let me shit out here or squeeze your hand, okay? Okay. I realized that in this day and age, if I was 36 now, and they were doing Buck Rogers now, I would never have been considered for that role. Because I'm too old. I don't know if you've noticed in television, but almost everyone who's a leading person is in their 20s. Most of the writers are in their 20s. For some reason, they don't think that someone with a life experience, a writer who's in his 50s or whatever, can write television. We went through this, we've been going through this for quite a while. Some writers who had won Academy Awards, Emmys, or whatever, some became so desperate that they committed suicide. That's what's been sweeping the industry. That's why if you watch a lot of network television, which I hope to God you don't, because it's like a lobotomy. Anyway, that's why a lot of the stuff is so mundane. The writing is so trite, because the people who are doing it don't have the life experience to add to the characters. And I'm not saying that they're not good writers. They just need seasoning. And the older writers who could lead them in that respect, and then that direction, and teach them, are no longer around. Because what there are is a bunch of 20-somethings trying to figure out how to write a show. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting because I really don't think I would have been cast as Buck Rogers today. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm just happy to wake up on this side of the grass, you know what I'm saying? Better be looking down at the grass and up at the roots.
We have just like 2 minutes left, a 2-minute warning, so we're going to go to a lightning round of questions. I'm going to ask your name, you blitz out a question, we'll try to get an answer as quick as possible. What's your name, what's your question?
Tony Vickers from Panama City. Question is, with the lawsuit that you mentioned by the Nolan family versus the Dillies and the acquisition by Disney, as a science fiction modeler, do you think that that could have an impact on a resurgence of models?
My experience with the whole Dilly thing, I don't know, it depends on who wins the lawsuit as far as the Nolans are concerned. I don't think nothing's going to happen, excuse me, with Disney, but possibly if the Nolans win the lawsuit, it might cause a resurgence in models. But the way it stands right now, there's nothing there. I mean, they did a new 6-inch Buck Rogers figure, and there were others figures that were going to be down, and they never got behind it, and it just fell. And it was actually a better figure than the original one, which was a 12-inch figure.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. Hi, what's your name, what's your question?
Hi, my name is Beth West. And I'm from here. Anyhow, I wanted to know from each of you what you guys, looking to today's generation with all the technology and the way movies are, et cetera, there's still something worth watching in Buck Rogers for today's generation. What would you guys each say would be that one thing to be looking for in rewatching your shows?
Erin Gray. Well, you know, I don't want to capture the whole thing. You should try to say something. All right, thank you. Anyway.
I think the one element that I loved about Buck Rogers more than anything was the sense of humor that they wrote for Gil, which he has, as you can tell, naturally. So that's what made this show, I think, special. You're welcome.
Cool. What's your name, what's your question?
My name is Hannah Francis and I'm from Gulfport, Mississippi, and my question is for Miss Gray. What should a scriptwriter do with the script if they want you to take the role?
Sorry?
Are you saying if you write a script and you want her to do the role, what should you do?
What should I do to the script to make you want to take the role?
Make it really good.
You want to do it?
Yes.
I want to go back being fierce again. That plays out more the commander that I was in the first year. That would interest me. Kick someone's butt.
Last question, this one's for Erin. My name is Cynthia, and I'm from here.
Hi, Cynthia.
But really, it's just a thank you for girls like me growing up in the 70s and in that generation, because we look to characters like yours, Linda Carter as Wonder Woman, Charlie's Angels. A lot of the people here are too young to remember that most women couldn't even get a credit card unless their husband signed off on it in the 70s. And y'all's characters, with us growing up, are the ones that made us believe that we could.
Thank you.
We could be something more. And we could. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. I was very blessed to have the opportunity to play that role. And I did not know at the time that it would have that kind of impact on women until I came to these conventions. But it also never dawned on me that a woman couldn't be in control or be strong or be a commander or solve problems logistically or whatever. It never dawned on me because I had a tough mom, you know, a single mom raising me, and I thought she was pretty awesome. So I didn't know the effect that it would have on an entire generation. It was really, that's
I did.
Thank you.
Before we go, do you have, can you share any social media outlets you may have with us? What? Your Facebook, Instagram, do you have any social media outlets that we can follow you on if we don't already?
Soon. I've been off social media for quite a while, and that will be changing shortly.
I'm on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm not giving out my number, but anyway. You're on Facebook?
Yes, I am on Facebook, and when I get home on Monday afternoon, I'm probably going to check on my computer. It says 50,000 friends want to be my friends. Yeah. You know, how can you do that? I mean, you get them so many. They were, oh, do you remember me? Yeah, I don't know who you are. I mean, I meet so many friends, people. Everybody wants to be your friend, so delete. Yeah. You know, I don't remember all the names. How can you be all friends? With everybody.
I went through that.
Yeah, delete,
65,000 followers or whatever, and I was like, you know what, I have to deal with this. So I shut it all down and created another one. I have 3 Facebook accounts. There's a Buck Rogers, a Gil Gerard fan, and then a Gil Gerard person.
The only thing I like to say that around April, they're coming out with Funko, what's that,
Funko Pops.
The Addams Family. They didn't do much about Rogers.
They didn't do any Buck Rogers, but I did. I started we're working on the 3rd iteration of a Funko Pop character. The first one was the Funko in the dress uniform. The second was in the white uniform. And the third one, which will be 12, and that'll be it, is in the blue jumpsuit. We're thinking about what the 4th one will be. But the first 2 sold out so fast that we sort of increased the order from 8 to 10 to now 12. But the guarantee I make is that, like, the first 8, that's all that will ever be made. And the second 10, that's all those that will ever be made. So when you purchase it, that means if you got, and each one comes with a certificate of authenticity. And if you have one of the 12, you will be one of only 12 owners of those Funko Pops. And then if that sells as quickly as the others have, we may go to